Hey, what's up? It's Steve, aka the Sign Picker, and today I am featuring all of my dead end and no outlet signs.
Let's get very clear on what I'm looking for. Kicking it off with, what is the difference between dead end and no outlet?
According to the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, a dead end may be used at the entrance of a single road or street that terminates in a dead end or cul-de-sac. A no outlet sign may be used at the entrance of a road or road network from which there is no other exit. Think of a road that doesn't end, but rather loops around and brings you back to where you started. These are different messages that should be used independently and never together.
Now, I'm going to look through everything here, but I'm going to jump right in here, here, and a little bit of here. That is where a majority of my dead end, no outlet signs are going to be. Those are the standard sizes that type of sign comes in. So I'm just going to jump in right there and see what I can find. All right, here is a pretty classic, pretty standard dead end sign. This is what today's dead end sign looks like, except for the sheeting on this one, which is a little older than what is current standard. But you got the dead end on a warning. This one's 24 by 24. It's got a little bend on it, so it's a little hard to fit that one in the sign shelf. It sort of throws all the other signs off a little bit, but I'll pull this one out from the wall. Here is an end sign, and this is one that you don't see very often here in Indiana. In fact, I don't ever see it. I typically associate this sign with California. California will post these at the very end of a dead-end street where the road terminates. This is not a sign that is universally accepted in the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, but there are other states besides California that have adopted this sign. This one is brand new. It's a new old stock, if you will. I actually had to have it custom made by a sign manufacturer because I don't ever see these around Indiana, and I wanted to have one for the collection. The font that's on here is the wrong font choice. This should be a little wider version of Highway Gothic. But hey, until I can find a real one from the state of California, this one will be just fine. These signs up here are a little bent and throwing everything off. I'm going to pull these out just so I can give myself some more room to flip all these signs over. A lot of these signs are going to be warning signs. These are 30 by 30, some construction in there. Here's a 30 by 30 version of the current standard of dead end sign. Earlier that one was 24 by 24. This one has the honeycomb sheeting on it, which is not the current standard, but the design of the sign itself has not changed. Here's another way to say dead end. Some municipalities use this. I don't see this a lot here in Indiana. I picked this sign up in Michigan. Not a through street. This is posted at the start of a street that is not through. It's a dead end, or it's a no outlet. It doesn't go all the way through. This one's actually the equivalent of a dead end sign. It's just another way to say it.
Hey, real quick, if you have any ideas or suggestions of the types of signs that I should feature in these videos and build a sign wall from, please drop them in the comments. I'm always looking for suggestions, and maybe we will see your idea in a future video.
Here is your classic no outlet sign. This one is kind of old. There's no year posted on it, so I don't know exactly. I probably date it to the late 80s or early 90s, but I could tell by the sheeting that's on here. It's cracked, it's weathered, it was out there for a long time. It doesn't hold up that well in the elements, although the typical lifespan of a traffic sign is probably about 12 years or so. This one was manufactured by 3M. It's got the 3M logo down here at the bottom. Still has all the original dirt on it. My hands are dirty just touching it. So this will be a great addition to the wall. Okay, let's talk about this sign. This sign is not a dead end sign or a no outlet sign. It is a pavement ends warning sign. This version was adopted probably as early as the maybe 2000 edition of the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices as a way to provide an alternate to the text-based sign, which would say pavement ends. Evolution of street signs, they're always trying to figure out a way to replace type with iconography, with a graphic like this. Unfortunately for this sign, a lot of people could not figure out what this meant. It did not pass the test. It's not obvious enough. And it's kind of become the butt of jokes over time. People think that it looks like a lit cigarette, a candy bar, some kind of an animal like leopard print, a firework, smokestack. So it didn't do really well. You can still see this sign posted in the public, and I believe Canada may have adopted this as a standard for their pavement ends, but it showed up in the US manual and then it disappeared as fast as it came. This is one of those original, new, but now old pavement end signs. Even though it doesn't fit the category of dead end and no outlet, I don't ever get to feature it very often, so I'm going to pull it out and use it for this wall. Here is a not compliant sign, although some states have adopted it. Road ends. So it's not dead end, nor is it no outlet, but it conveys the same message. This one came out of Michigan, and just like every state, Michigan kind of does its own thing. I'm pretty sure this sign is used in other states as well. We don't use it here in Indiana, so I was happy to find one up in Michigan that I can add to the collection. Here is the very first dead end sign that I ever added to my collection, and you can see the font on this thing. It is not the compliant Highway Gothic font, but nonetheless, it was still pretty cool. I was thrilled to add it to my collection. It's a weird kind of sheet metal texture on the back. So it's aluminum, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure how this was manufactured because it has these real teeny tiny holes here that are not the standard. You couldn't fit a standard size bolt through there. But if you look really close, it does have post markings on the back, so it was posted out in the wild somewhere. So we'll pull that out for the wall. Obviously, being that dead end falls under the warning sign category, this is going to be a very black and yellow wall. Predominantly yellow because of the background of the sign. Here's a sign that purists are going to have a problem with, and the manual's going to have a problem with. Dead end, no outlet. And that's a tough message because a dead end is not the same thing as a no outlet, as I covered at the beginning of this video. So this sign is definitely not manual compliant. It's part of the reason I actually think it's cool in my collection. It was manufactured by a local municipality because this sign blank was yellow and had the border as part of the reflective sheeting, and then the local municipality or public works department went and added these adhesive letters to the sign onto a blank. They obviously didn't consult the manual when they made this sign, but I still think it's neat. Here is the earliest dead end sign, the oldest dead end sign that I have in my collection. And this is from prior to the dead end sign being standardized on the diamond shaped yellow warning. This is a square. It's 24 by 24, so you could get a dead end sign that is 24 by 24, but instead of it being square, it would be diamond shaped. This is real super heavy, super embossed. I love this very chiseled font. It's got that kind of mean look to it. The old font on these signs has that serious, sinister look, very industrial feeling. Flip it around, there's the back. It's got a really cool back on it. You can see what the original yellow used to be based on the postmarking, that this was just shielded from the sun for so long, and this was out exposed to the elements. Look what the sun does to these signs. And that's why signs have a lifespan of only 12 years or so. But this is still really shiny here on the back, where that original yellow background used to be. This is from a time when signs were not yet reflective, so your headlights would hit that at night and you'd be able to see it, but it did not reflect back at you. That technology was not developed yet. Okay, that's everything. Dead end, no outlet, not a through street end, all the stuff that falls under the category of this road ends or loops back around. So let's build the wall.
All right, there's the wall, signs that indicate a dead end or a no outlet. And what was challenging about this wall is pretty much everything falls into that warning sign category. So there's not a lot of differentiation here in terms of shape, size, color. Typically when I build a wall, I try to find things that look different but all fall under the same category. That way you have a very differentiated wall. Not so much the case here. But I was able to find dead end signs, no outlet signs, one case that's not compliant where it says dead end and no outlet on the same sign, different variations of that, not a through street, road ends, that one which is no longer part of the manual. So all in all, I am happy with the wall. Hey, if you want to follow along on all of my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also follow me over on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Sign Picker, and I'll see you in the next video.